ARESxGOD here, and it's that time of the week to talk about Bleach, and is it just me, or is the series just getting better and better with each episode? We had episode 1 just straight into the plot, easing us also back in the first half of the series with the characters, then introduction, the nostalgia I had when hearing the song. In second episode we had the main villain just basically stealing the show with just a few scenes, the imposing presence that he had, and here just the war starts, just everything is finally on the move. We had the action, the animation is looking so good, the scenes were amazing, and yeah, finally delving a bit into the war, so I can't wait to talk about it, so let's get into it. Now, at the beginning we had, picking up straight from last week with Ichigo still carrying Nell, and I hope we're gonna see adult form Nell at some point, coming face to face with Kilje. Now, Kilje, I know, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, he made a very interesting note saying that His Majesty, as in Yawach, classified Ichigo and some others as special threats. Now, that's something to keep in mind. Of course, kind of makes sense that Ichigo would be one, but who are the other ones? That's my my question. Now, if I remember from the random things that I know from the manga, I think there was another name for this special threat thing they had. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Of course, no spoilers. Like I said, I have random spoilers, but not tied together, no context. I know some bankais and things like that, but I haven't fully read the manga, so I don't know the flow of the story, the twists, plots, and things like that. So yeah, let me know what was the way they called it in the manga. It kind of stuck a bit on me. I didn't want to go in and look it for myself just to find random spoilers while I was doing that. But yeah, we'll probably find out later on. Now, what we see during the fight here with Kilje finally unleashing his power, well, a bit of it, he uses this sword bow kind of thing. His sword transforms into a bow. Now, before we get to the fight, I really liked how they handled Yamamoto in this episode. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but even you see him during the captain's meeting talking about the Quincy's, everything that happened, and him just ordering to prepare for war with everything they have just to be ready, even if that might not turn out to be true. But it's definitely, the war definitely started. Now, why I like the Yamamoto during this episode, you see how angry, how much he's holding inside after losing his lieutenant, after everything that happened. I don't know, they done such a good job with portraying the sheer anger and frustration that Yamamoto's feeling right now. It also kind of makes sense after his conversation with Mayuri, because he blames himself for everything, and we'll get to that. Now, back at the fight, I really like how Ichigo is still very strong now. He doesn't always need to use his Bankai every time he's facing an opponent, but he did it this time. We'll get to that. Now, without his Bankai, he stopped the attack of Killjoy with just one hand. Even Killjoy was a bit shocked at that fact. And Nell pulled, she got thrown to be taken care of by Chad and Inu. Now, this is where Ichigo made a comment saying that Uryu had stronger arrows. Now, Killjoy, besides that, Killjoy says that he knows Uryu, or at least maybe his family in a way. I'm really curious about the connection that is between the Vanderich and Uryu's family, because his father is still being very cagey about the entire thing, and we'll get to that. Now, we have Killjoy unleashing more of his power. Let's style. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, and he starts looking like this angel with also the skill Vol Sterndich. Not very good at German. very bad. It's very similar to the form that Uri used in the Soul Society arc when he fought against Mayuri, but this is a more upgraded form, and we'll get to that. Now, Yawach also gets the report that Killjoy has started fighting with Ichigo, and gathers the troops to basically invade Soul Society, and we'll get to that. Now, Killjoy versus Ichigo, man, the animation just, so good. Now, like I said, this is a new form, let's style, a new upgrade compared to the one that Uryu used. Apparently, it's more powerful. Now, I don't know how true that is. Granted, Killjoy is very strong from what we've seen this far in the episode. Also got me thinking, how strong can Uryu get at some point? Maybe he's gonna use this form. I don't think he's gonna use this form, but just thinking about it, maybe the first form he had also has some other upgrades or something. Got me very interested in the potential of Uryu after this conversation. Now, Ichigo tried to beat Killjoy. The Getsuga Tensho basically stopped at his neck, couldn't quite cut through it, and got me very curious, why exactly wasn't he able to cut through it, even though he hit. And this is where Killjoy starts absorbing spiritual power, even from people, from Inue's shield, from Chad, even quite a lot of people are basically breaking down tiny bits, this at least up until now, using this P-scale. But before he can fully unleash that, I really liked this part. The shock, the surprise that Killjoy has in this episode kind of shows they don't really have the full information of how powerful a bunch of the enemies they're facing are. And you have a lot of people that are not very strong from Soul Society and stuff like that, but I feel like their information could be quite outdated, even though Yawach kind of has some of them categorized as special threats. They still get surprised by some things, and in this case you have him being literally punched by the monster that the Tres Bestia could do with their arms, and I gotta give the monster a bit of credit in this episode. I liked him quite a lot, even though he didn't win, and we'll get to that. I liked him quite a lot what he did. Now, speaking of Uryu, he went looking through the books of his father, trying to get everything. Of course, Ryuken didn't like it. He still didn't want to explain fully to him, even though he still kind of directed him to the right location, saying you're not gonna find anything here. Basically made sense going somewhere else. Now, before we get to that, we have a very interesting conversation here with Shino and Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke asking, why did this war start? What caused this this conflict? And they had no idea. But we have this guy that really looks like hipster Aizen. Honestly, that's the first thing I thought about when we first see him, sixth seat Kajomaru. I like how he looks, but definitely made me think of hipster Aizen. Now, he basically goes through explaining a bit of how Shinigami works, how Soul Society works, with Shinigami being the balancers, with souls having a cycle going through Soul Society and back. But the problem is when hollows formed in the world of the living cannot return to Soul Society without a Shinigami doing their job. Now, this is all fine. This should be the natural cycle. But then you have the Quincy's, which, sure, they can kill the hollows, but they don't return the souls. They completely destroy the souls and the hollow, and this causes an imbalance of the souls. And the more they kept doing that, you have Soul Society will basically merge with the world of the living and get destroyed. So this has major implications on how the all of the worlds work here. So the Quincy's are introducing something new to a habitat and just them going wild. Now, on the other side, we had Uryu fighting this book from his old master. I barely remember that guy. I honestly forgot his name. And there's so many names and characters in the series, but so well tied together. And yeah, I love Bleach with everything. Now, Ryoken again doesn't want to fully have a conversation. Every time we see him on screen, he's so dismissive of. I hope at some point we're gonna see him just sitting down and having a conversation with everybody about their connection to the Van der Eyck, what he knows, what happened in the past with their family. Hopefully we're gonna get some information there. And Uryu is more than frustrated, to say the least. Now, that's fully understandable, and this is why I kind of want Ryuken to spill everything he knows. Now, back to the explanation by Kajamaru, we see that the Soul Society did in fact try to talk to the Quincy, telling them, hey, let's find a common ground, let's work together, let's do the things differently, this is not good, but it didn't work. So this is why the Quincy extermination happened 200 years ago. So this was basically the start of the conflict. Now, back with Yamamoto, we see he called Mayuri, because Mayuri basically did something very, very drastic. Now, while I understand why he did it, it's something for the greater good, and we know he's very logical and willing to sacrifice anything and everything. This was still something very extreme, because he was the one behind the disappearance of the people from the Rokon district. He did it to keep the balance. Also, kind of they forced his hand, Van der Eyck forced his hand, causing this soul imbalance. And Yamamoto was very frustrated, but I feel like he probably would have made the same choice, but now he's in not a very good place of mind after everything that happened, losing somebody that has been with him for so long. He was being a bit harsh. Also, don't get me wrong, I'm not fully defending what Mayuri did, I'm just saying I understand it. Now, what Mayuri said about what he did, saying for the balance of souls, the important thing, saying he foresaw this happening, the war and everything, back when Uryu first invaded the Soul Society and they had their fight. Now, this is where he said something that stung very deep, very big, very deep, telling Yamamoto, you couldn't kill that man 1,000 years ago. And this is why I think Yamamoto blames, or 1,100 years ago, blames himself quite hard for everything that is happening right now, and probably everything that happened in the past. I'm really hoping we're gonna get a full-on flashback episode of that moment, and this is why I think they did an amazing job with Yamamoto. He didn't get a lot of screen time, but shows how much internal struggles he has right now, and also taking into consideration his position and what happened in the past. So yeah, I can't wait for more. I'm having so much fun with the series, finally delving into the major plots we have had, so many unresolved things from back when the anime ended. And speaking of that, that's very nice, but I also like my action fighting, and they're doing an amazing job with the animation. We have the monster Ion, it cuts off from the scene with Yamamoto, and you see Ion just clobbering, smashing, Hulk smash, like literally Hulk smashing Loki in the ground, him with Quilji just I was laughing so much at that. I love you, Ion. Even though you're a mindless monster, I like that quite a lot. But it didn't have the effect that being beaten like that should have had, because Killj is still alive and actually stabs one of the girls, saying their blood needs more power, so they can possibly get even more powerful. Maybe Awachi can power them up even more, but we'll find out more with how their power works, probably moving forward with the series. Now we see Killj starting fully unleashing his power, starts absorbing more and more Reiatsu, Reishi, energy, spiritual power from the zone, even from people. Actually, Chad losing a part of him. Ion literally gets obliterated half of him, so it dies, unleashing Sclave, Rai, and turns into this abomination. They kind of seem more like Arankar unleashing their transformation than Quincy that we have here. The girls, of course, the Tres Bestiarons, they're no way capable of fighting Killj in this form. Chad protecting Inoue even though he was getting absorbed away. And this is where you have Ichigo finally unleashing his Bankai and slashes, breaking the disc that Killjoy was using for his power. Kind of very similar with how his own transformation in that Vastolord that he had, the horns were powering up his Zero. So when he lost a horn, he couldn't really control that power. The same thing happens here with Killjoy. After that disc is broken, he can't absorb that much energy anymore. And I like the comment that Killjoy said, even though you figured this out quite fast, that's not the important thing. The important thing is you had the courage to go for it. And he has no idea what Ichigo has been through. Now, I don't know if Killjoy is one of the more powerful ones, or is he one of the weakest one in the Teneritter. I kind of leaning towards being one of the weakest one if he was delegated to handling the prisoners and things like that. I don't see him being one of the upper echelon, the important ones around Yhwach. But who knows? We'll see. I think Ichigo is gonna beat him, even though he seems to be very, very resilient now. It cuts off a bit and we see Urahara carrying Dondochaka with Pesh. I kinda missed Dondochaka to be honest, and this is even Urahara in Hueco Mundo sensed that Yhwach finally is in Soul Society, and we see Yhwach there above in Soul Society, and yeah, to say the least, that they went all out with the animation would be an understatement. Soul Society getting invaded, the flame pillars that were happening, they were looking so cool. That I like that color and the effect they have, so much the same flame that they used in Hueco Mundo. And this is where things are not looking very good for the Shinigami, because even Kira, you guys remember Kira has that Zanpakuto that when you cut something it doubles in weight, and if you remember him actually just gets blasted, and more than half of his upper body, probably I think his right side was it, that he loses an arm and a bit of his chest just completely blown away. I don't know if he's gonna be okay. Maybe only Inoue or Hime can save him. We'll have to see. I hope he's not gonna die. I kinda like him, but just shows, using him as an example, that how powerful the Stenrita are. They basically obliterated a bunch of Shinigami getting blasted, and they're there to purge all of them, and the group being there, probably one of the important one, the upper echelon among the Vanderich. So yeah, overall this episode again has been amazing. I'm probably greedy. I wish I had episode 4, 5, 6 and so on to press on, but hey, at least Bleach is back and they're doing an amazing job with the series. But yeah, amazing episode. I'm curious what you guys thought about the episode. What do you think will happen with Yamamoto and Yhwach in the past? And let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode and the series overall being back. So far we have 3 episodes. I think it's more than okay to have at least an impression of the series being back right now. So let me know down in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Bleach. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.